vậy sao mà đi được? Em mình đấy nhá.
Lòng một cho anh em mình ơi. Quá trời quá đất này. Khủng khiếp. Quá trời khủng khiếp mình.
Central Vietnam is currently facing a widespread and prolonged disaster, as relentless rainfall continues to trigger severe flooding across large parts of the Central and Central Highlands regions. The scale of the emergency is expanding rapidly, with conditions deteriorating at the same time in low-lying districts, midland towns, and mountainous terrain. Updated reports from national and international disaster units confirm that 55 people have now lost their lives, while more than 20 residents are injured and 10 to 12 remain missing. Over 300,000 people have been affected across multiple provinces, forcing tens of thousands into temporary shelters as water keeps rising without pause. Flooding remains the dominant force, responsible for nearly 70% of the overall destruction. Days of continuous, unbroken rainfall have caused rivers, canals, and drainage systems across Da Nang, Quang Nam, Quang Ngai, Can Hoa, and surrounding regions to overflow violently. Water is rising through residential areas, farmland, industrial sites, and commercial districts. Roads that usually connect coastal cities to inland highlands are now submerged beneath deep, fast-moving floodwater.
Đang rất là nguy cấp, rất nhiều nhà đã ngập nắp ở nhà cấp 4 rất là nhiều, và cái thông tin lọc được lướt trên Facebook rất là nhiều người đã kêu cứu, và hiện tại
tại vì biển nước rất là lớn, mọi người khi mọi người nếu đi qua nó sẽ bị ngập trôi đó nha, mọi người đừng đi qua con đường đó nha.
In major urban centers of central Vietnam, daily life has come to a complete halt. Streets have turned into waterways, supply routes have collapsed, and public transportation has been suspended entirely. Buses, taxis, and motorbikes lie abandoned under deep water. Rescue teams working across the region say multiple neighborhoods that were dry only hours earlier are now knee-deep to waist-deep underwater. Rural and agricultural regions are suffering catastrophic damage. Vast farming belts in Dak Lak and Gia Lai are fully submerged. Fields of rice, vegetables, coffee, and pepper, essential to local livelihoods, have been destroyed. Overflowing irrigation systems have washed out topsoil, storage sheds are underwater, and widespread erosion threatens the next harvest cycle as well.
Mà cái cọc điện không có
thoát là cây mã là cái mày kìa.
Chưa bao giờ nghĩ rằng nước lũ sẽ cuốn trôi đi tất cả những này.
Daily life in Kan Hoa and coastal towns in Puyen has been severely disrupted. Strong inland currents continue to push floodwater deeper into settlements, while low-lying neighborhoods near the coastline face the combined impact of wave surges and flood tides. Small fish markets, boat yards, and marine infrastructure are struggling to withstand the pressure.
Mưa lũ vẫn đang diễn biến khá là phức tạp luôn cả nhà ơi. Nó mưa thì để hết rồi nhưng mà lũ vẫn cứ dâng cao cả nhà.
While flooding causes the majority of destruction, landslides account for the remaining 30%, especially in mountainous provinces such as Lam Dong, Kon Tum, and interior regions of Quang Nam. Saturated slopes are collapsing without warning, sweeping away homes, and cutting off entire mountain communities. Several victims of this disaster were found beneath massive landslide debris. Multiple mountain roads connecting the central coast to inland highlands remain blocked by huge debris fields. Heavy machinery is working constantly, but continuous soil movement, slippery surfaces, and growing cracks have made many sections too unstable for ground teams. Rescue workers have been ordered to avoid certain zones due to high risk of secondary collapses. Fog and low visibility make operations even more dangerous across highland regions. Search teams clearing debris must move slowly as the ground beneath them shifts. Numerous districts remain inaccessible, forcing responders to rely on alternative routes, narrow trails, or small boats, where rivers have expanded into entire valley floors. In historic and tourist-heavy Hoi An, floodwater has spread across markets, riverfront walkways, and cultural sites. Water levels are rising and falling unpredictably as upstream rivers continue to surge. Evacuation shelters are receiving a growing number of families who were forced to flee their homes with only essential belongings.
Rồi, nắm từng người nha, dây từng nha. Bên kia nữa, đủ mấy thằng kia nữa. Bên kia nữa vậy.
Across central Vietnam, the combined force of flood and landslide activity is creating a complex emergency landscape. Low-lying provinces remain underwater, while mountainous districts suffer from collapsing slopes, blocked routes, and dangerously unstable terrain. Emergency teams are stretched thin as they shift between water rescues, landslide clearance, and evacuation support.
Ủa cái nền này mà sập luôn.
Authorities warn that the next 24 to 48 hours remain extremely dangerous. Soil saturation across the Central Highlands has reached critical levels, making additional landslides increasingly likely. River systems in coastal provinces remain at high alert, and controlled releases from upstream reservoirs may cause further downstream flooding. Several monitoring stations have shifted to enhanced alert mode due to rapidly rising water pressure. Evacuation centers across Da Nang, Quang Ngai, Thua Thien Hue, and Binh Dinh are receiving displaced residents around the clock. Drinking water, food, and medical supplies are being distributed, but demand is rising faster than resources can be deployed. Volunteers and local authorities are working non-stop to support affected families.
Nhẹ thôi, đừng có tâm cho nó trời cho mày xuống là ngập luôn á.
Multiple low-lying districts are experiencing power outages, while several mountainous areas report communication failures due to damaged towers. Emergency teams continue monitoring river gauges, rainfall intensity, and slope stability, as conditions remain highly unpredictable. At present, floodwaters dominate the central Vietnam landscape with destructive force, while landslides pose a deadly threat in the highlands. Officials warn that the full extent of the damage will only be known once rainfall eases and access to isolated districts is restored. If the heavy rain continues, more evacuations may be necessary, as both river basins and mountain slopes remain critically unstable.